So YouTube, they've got all these wanky fanky new things that you can do now when you're monetized. And one of them is something called Super Thanks, which I'd never heard of. I've never seen used by anyone. I don't know what it is, but they're trying to push it. So they sent me an email and they said 4 tips to master Super Thanks. Congrats on enabling Super Thanks. You're on your way to adding a new revenue stream to your channel, a new one, implying that there are others, and building a stronger community. Now, on to step 2.
Even stronger?
I know, even stronger. Now, on to step 2. Getting your...
Right. This is why we... Yeah, anyway. Hang on, carry on.
So Matt's gone to blow his nose. Now, on to step 2. Getting your audience to better understand and engage with Super Thanks. Below are some tips and tricks to get fans to purchase and come back for more. So YouTube is sending me an email how to trick the audience into purchases. That's what YouTube thinks. First thing they said was tell your audience about Super Thanks. So I thought I'd just read their email
Sneaky.
out. That's the easiest way of doing that. A lot of viewers might not yet know about Super Thanks. Introduce it to your community at the beginning or end of your upcoming videos to increase awareness.
What does it do? Why do these people listening want this?
I don't know.
Thanks.
It doesn't tell me.
We can say thanks.
I assume that it is a way of paying at the end of it's like the buy a coffee thing. I assume. I don't know what it is. Ugh. But you know the like buy me a coffee app?
Yeah.
Where you can just do one-off payments or something like that. Anyway, what does it say? Provide a reason to purchase. So that's what we've got to do. Fans might consider buying Super Thanks if they know what they are supporting. I don't know. I think we're going to go with more of the your party model where you don't really know what this is, but just give us some money anyway.
But if you figure out how to send us some money, someone will get it and leave it somewhere. And then for a very long time.
I really hope that this podcast ends in a massive legal dispute between me and you, because that's how all great sort of epic stories end.
It's meant to, isn't it?
Like Morrissey and everyone else, like Morrissey and everyone he's met. Fans might consider buying Super Thanks if they know what they are supporting. Tell your audience how the money will be used and announce a goal to raise a certain amount for a specific project. Speaking of Morrissey, we did say a while back we wanted to buy shares in the Smiths. I think that boat might have sailed. But then you're having a problem with your washing machine. So money could go towards a new washing machine. That's a possibility.
Yeah, I don't want another coffee. I can make a coffee for about 3p.
It's not...
Give us some money to do something else, like live my life, drink myself to death.
The coffee is not really the issue. You get that right?
No. Yeah, it's just a metaphor.
Yeah, it's just a metaphor. Exactly. Yeah. But buy me a washing machine. That's a new one.
Yeah.
Buy me a coffee for £3 or buy me a washing machine for £300.
Yeah.
Because I noticed out of everything that we did in the last episode, the only thing that people were really interested in was the small bit where you mentioned your washing machine, which caused a massive debate.
Oh yeah, people were saying about change the settings or something. I don't know.
That's why I think we should flip flop. We should change this podcast. Now we should do the history of random things, the fascinating history of something that you thought you never gave 2 shits about before. That's the new podcast.
It's a catchy title.
Yeah, it's good. Isn't it? Well, it's very BBC.
Fascinating history of things that you didn't give a shit about before.
It's like BBC.
This week, the Renaissance.
Yeah. This week, the Holocaust. No, it's about washing machines. This is classic BBC.
Only you.
This is classic BBC fare, right? And then they do it. So I want to show we can do a podcast like Stuart Lee. We are able to do a podcast. It's just beneath us, isn't that right, Matt?
Sure. Yeah.
So, like, if you did a washing machine podcast, it would be, everybody's got a washing machine, but if you ever wondered about the history of washing machines, you probably think it's quite boring. But actually, it's fascinating. It goes all the way back, and then you sort of go, washing machines have been an important thing throughout time. We all remember, I don't know, Commander Purcell of the Roman centurion, who was the first person to invent a washing machine. He told his soldiers to put their bloody semen-soaked rags after a day of rape and pillaging into a metal can and rolled it down a hill because he found that cleaned it quicker. And then, of course, there's all the amazing washing machines of pop culture on there. We all remember the Mersey Beat hit song, Love is Like a Washing Machine. We all remember that, don't we? You know, by, I don't know, Jeremy and the fucking Strokes. Jeremy and the cardiac arrests. Jeremy and the string theory band. That classic Mersey Beat. Love is like a washing machine. It goes round and round and round and round and round. And then there was the 70s version. It was the more psychedelic. Round and round and round and round. By Jeremy and the Wife Beaters. They've always got to have like a name which is to do with time. Have you noticed that? The rhythm.
The beating part.
The beating part. What else? Oh yeah, do you remember the 1970s cult classic exploitation horror film Night of the Killer Washing Machines with John Voight as the detective?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
John Voight, he believes in science and getting results. But so he doesn't believe that the washing machine is coming alive and killing everybody. Do you remember that?
Something else.
Horrific violence. Lots of people said it was inauthentic. That's it. That was the shaky cam. Famous in that film.
Giving the computer a little bit of a spin.
Yeah, they put it in there. Well,
create verisimilitude.
Today on what's the name of this show? Fascinating Facts About Washing Machines. Today we've got our esteemed guest, who is a anti-washing machine activist. From his channel, Scourge of the Spin Machine. Ah, that's good, isn't it?
Woo! Yeah, I think so.
Great. Did you even get that?
I don't know what it's good for, but it was fun.
Did you even get that joke?
What? Well, I like the bit with the washing machine in it.
No, Scourge of the Spin Machine.
Oh,
God, come on. Anyway, what are we talking about today? What are you in the mood for today, Matt?
Oh, that's that politician.
Yeah, future prime minister apparently. God, have you seen her? Have you seen her speak?
A few minutes, maybe. A little clip on the news.
She's
how did she get so big so all of a sudden?
How did you get so big? That's not very nice, Matt. She
metaphorically big, like the washing machine.
I don't actually know where she's come from. She's Muslim, which is helpful. A bit like Sabah Jabid, you know. She's the right kind of Muslim. It's always good to have a Home Secretary. You know, ideally it's Muslim. You know, if you can't get a Muslim, get a Hindu. That's what I always say. You know, when people ask me about,
it's an old saying, isn't it?
Well, talking about Home Secretaries, if you can't get a Muslim, get a Hindu. And that's what the Tories were like. And Labour tried something new, and they're like, nah, let's go back to tried and tested, Muslim, extremely racist, immigrant-hating Muslim Home Secretary. It's a winner. But she's really she's come out with these very hardline immigration policies. One of which. Well, there was something leaked that they were going to take people's personal items, including jewelry.
Off immigrants?
Off immigrants. Well, this is the other thing. We're talking about immigrants and asylum seekers. It's all very confusing. They're talking about asylum seekers, really. They're talking about people coming on boats.
Right.
Who presumably are
asylum seekers.
Well, you don't actually know what they are.
Right.
Particularly if you just turn it around, send it back. But yes, most of them are asylum seekers, and so it's taking their jewelry. This was leaked or something, and now it's being completely denied by I don't know if it was people were too outraged by this, but there's lots of like weird things that keep getting leaked to the press, and are then immediately denied by Starmer or Mahmood.
Who's taking asylum seekers' jewelry?
No, that would be the policy. You'd have to pay your way with your wares. We're going back to a barter system.
So you come over in a small boat, and then you've got to give like your wedding ring to
some... exactly. Well, to whoever's there. It's first come, you know. So like, I'm just going to hang around on the beach, like Nigel Farage does, just trying to nab some jewelry off anyone that comes by.
Right.
But you know, this is, I mean, charming. They missed a trick though, because what about fillings? There was no mention about taking people's fillings and smelting it down. And their shoes, yeah. And then, I don't know how much you could probably pay, not an NHS employee, but like a subcontracted NHS employee. You could probably pay them for a week on smelted gold fillings. But yeah, I'm only joking. Obviously, the money would go immediately to...
Ukraine,
yeah.
to be used by its corrupt fuel.
We got all these Ukrainian soldiers, like with all this like jewelry bedazzled, like 10 wedding rings on.
Yeah, who did you get it from? Well, our migrants.
Keir Starmer, he just loves us. Yeah, so Mahmood was in Parliament talking about. She was talking about these new, very, very strict immigration laws, but she reminds me of Rachel Reeves. This like really, just incredibly, like annoying, aggressive kind of way of talking to other people and interacting, and it's really bizarre. It's like Starmer has it a bit, and he's increasingly got more of it. Like this increasingly seems to be the sort of groupthink of his government. Rachel Reeves is obviously the worst, absolutely. Like she's just constantly, there's just this kind of sort of childish way of speaking to people. It's just like really sort of aggressive and defensive about everything. And then now the new Home Secretary Mahmood is like this. So for example, Carla Denyer from the Greens asked a question. So she was Mahmood was like, "Oh, we're going to be really tough, and we're going to kick out all the immigrants, and we're going to make them pay." It's a bit like Trump. We're going to make the Mexicans pay for their own immigration system and all that kind of thing. And Carl Denyer was like, I just think that trying to reform this constant sort of veering to the right, it's not going to end very well. Okay.
It hasn't started very well, to be fair.
But yeah, and it's not even done Labour Labour are not doing very well. I mean, we'll talk about Labour's popularity later, but Mahmood, okay, she's going to disagree with that. But, in Parliament, I think you're supposed to always say, my right honourable friend and all that kind of stuff. And Mahmood was just so dismissive of Carla Denyer. It was quite ridiculous. She was like, what did she say? She didn't say well, my right honourable friend. She said, let me tell her. And so it wasn't even speaking to her. She said, let me tell her I don't care. I couldn't care less, I think is what she said. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care what any politicians think, what any other parties think. It's like, well, isn't the point of, sometimes, particularly the sort of centre-right Labour Party sort of people, they're always so good to work across the aisle, and they always like to speak like that. And then other times it's I don't give a fuck about anybody. It's just really aggressive. The other one is David Lammy. He's like that. I feel like maybe he's always had a bit of, he's reminded me of Chris Farley. There's always been a sort of Chris Farley.
Big fat comedian.
Yeah, that kind of absurd rage that sort of he has. Yeah. But increasingly he's kind of honed it into the exact same way of being as Rachel Reeves, Mahmood, Lammy, and to some extent Starmer. And I don't understand why they think that these people, I don't know where these people come from. I don't know how they become. I'm like, how did she become a politician in the first place? I don't understand. When she was starting out, she can't have been like that. Sort of a humble, sort of not in a seat, just like immediately, right, I don't give a shit what anybody here thinks. I'm going to be the MP of this, but you're all going to vote for me, you fuckers. You know, it's just like, Jesus, that is just really odd, sort of hostile way of being. I don't know how they get anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're a little bit being like, God, young people these days, talking about the Houses of Parliament. God, they're so rude, aren't they?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
but it does seem like the spirit of the age. I mean, it is like people are being ruder and more polarized. It was actually I listened to this.
No, you're missing the point. But anyway,
okay,
go on. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I told you I listened to that Radio 4 thing the other day. The one had Zach Polanski and Jeremy Hunt, Tories, and it was about tax reform, and it was like a long hour debate about tax reform, and it was nice actually because I get slightly the EBGBs about Zach because he was a bit flaky and odd and persecuty about Corbyn with the anti-Semitism thing, but he did actually say there was a multi-millionaire on the panel, and he did sort of say, oh no, you know, I think that he sort of said, oh, you've got good intentions about blah 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 blah, and so he was actually quite collegiate with it, which I thought was quite nice. But even though he was making a point that was like completely like fuck the millionaire sort of thing, so I thought that was actually at least I thought, oh well, Zach's not being a complete kind of buying into that kind of more mean spirited like finger poking politics that you're referring to. But I think he's probably a hop, skip, and a jump away from it most times.
No, I mean Zach's very tarnished by his past. As a boob hypnosis. No, as a Lib Dem. That's the big problem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he does look like the kind of person who would probably sell out quite quickly because his ideas are a little bit, like they say, he's sort of got undergraduate politics, which is, you know, a lot of us have kind of undergraduate politics. It's just being simple and straightforward.
That's just
bullshit. But he is a little bit headliney, isn't he? He is a little bit like, well, there's a castle over there. Maybe we could go and get all the gold from the castle and then bring it back over the fields and then give it to the poor. You know, it kind of works, but we talked about it the other day off camera, behind the scenes.
Yeah, we had one of our rare actual. We rarely actually talk outside of this weird thing that we did.
It was fascinating, everyone. It was about housing policy reforms. It was like this, but
we didn't actually converse directly because
I don't use the telephone.
Matt doesn't like that kind of direct interaction, so we just have to do WhatsApp voice messages. Which is fine, but then you send a whole load of them often, and then it's like, well, if I'm going to reply to the first one, then it just kind of gets lost in the, you know, and then I'm like replying to one that's 3 above, and then you're replying to that one, and it would just be easier to have a chat, you know. Anyway.
Or use your memory.
I don't know if
or go back over it.
It's not. No, I'm talking about you get confused, and anyone would get confused in that situation, Matt.
So what are you saying? You're saying basically that these young politicians these days are getting very rude.
I don't know. How old is Mahmood?
I don't know.
Mahmood.
I think they're all younger than me these days.
No,
they're all. Aren't they early 40s? And,
not Jeremy Corbyn.
Jeremy's older than I am.
One of the best things about Jeremy Corbyn, actually, in the early days, when he was absolutely ripping it up in 2015, was when he got angry. He was really good. That was a good anger.
Yeah.
Because it was a sort of shocked.
Yeah.
I'm talking about very subtle things here. my people have got big like criticisms of the Labour Party. Mine's very small. It's just that the main politicians, they're a little bit aggressive in the way they speak. Other than that, they're doing a bang-up job.
Phew.
Yeah, I don't think that it's to do with... It's not like Trump or even Farage. I mean, Farage isn't aggressive at all, actually. He does the whole... In many ways, he's like very old school, kind of just calm your tits, you know, I'm just speaking common sense kind of guy, you know?
Yeah.
Which is kind of good. I mean, it's a bit like Trump in a way. You kind of just... Trump has this kind of... What do they call it? The ramble or whatever, where he goes off on tangents.
The weave.
You know... And it works really well because it's quite comedic, the timing, because he'll say like really insane things, but he'll just sort of say it under his breath or like not even finish a sentence. He's like, well, we could nuke Iran, I suppose, and but I'll be at the Golden Globes. I was like, what was that about nuking Iran? Like, oh, I can't remember. Let's talk about the Golden Globe. And it's like whereas Labour will be like really aggressive about the most kind of annoying little tiny element of something. I mean, the thing about Labour is they're incredible. I mean, it's unbelievable how unpopular Starmer is right now. I think it's actually Labour are the most unpopular government, like party in government ever. And Starmer is possibly the most unpopular prime minister on record. And like, yeah, okay, I don't like Starmer. I don't really understand why a lot of other people don't like him. I could certainly see why they're not very popular, but for this kind of level, like there's not been a scandal. I mean,
no, he hasn't connected with the electorate. That's the issue.
Yes, but that's often the case. Like I think what I'm saying is it is less than people that have been, completely scandalized, outrageous things they've done. Right, personally, they have done outrageous things. They've been caught red-handed. He is less popular than them.
Yeah. So it's definitely it's a good observation. I'm just saying the importance of his complete lack of sort of any spark or dynamic behavior is more important than that.
I don't know if it is. I'm not sure that really.
Well, you're the one who said that the opinion polls are saying that, and there's no.
Yes,
scandal
but I'm not
really
saying
that.
Well, I don't think that's the explanation. What I'm saying, what you're saying, is not the explanation either.
Well, maybe not. But I mean, think about John Major. I mean, he was known to be extraordinarily boring, but I think people at least knew that somewhere underneath there, that grey visage was at least some kind of character, even if it was. These are lovely peas, Norma, as Spitting Image famously put it. But with Starmer, he does look like a block of wood that's concealing another block of wood.
Yeah, but I think it's worth putting into context with leaders around the world who are facing similar problems. So
let's do it with the world of leadership spin news.
All of them. I don't know any of who they are, but they're all the same. They're them. The other one, anyone you can think of, it's the same thing, right? Macron in France, Clive Myrie, what?
Macron's boring, is he?
He's unpopular.
He's unpopular.
I think you're getting confused. We're trying to explain why he's unpopular.
Trying to find all the most boring leaders.
I think we all know that he's boring, Starmer, but I don't think that's why he's unpopular. Because I think the thing is that there is an idea, we're going to change the leader, and that's going to help Labour somehow.
Yeah. You think that it's a deep-seated economic, socio-political reason?
No, it's undoubtedly going to help Labour a little bit, but I don't think Starmer is as big a problem. I mean, the focus is on people absolutely hate him. Labour supporters hate him. It is incredible, and Labour have actually done some good things, but nobody cares about that because overall, the country is in such a state that basically there's no way that Labour are going to fix it. And I think it's the same issue. You see it across Europe. So they could bring in another leader, but Labour, I don't like. So the idea is they want to bring in, obviously, Andy Burnham. They have to make an MMP first. There's a few hoops
they can't really do. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they could do it. I mean, Clive Lewis said that he would give up his seat.
Oh, wow.
Fall on his sword. I don't know. But anyway, I think that would definitely help. But people forget, Starmer was never super popular, but he was all right to begin with, in most people's eyes, or at least the Labour faithful, right? Getting back to traitors, like people, there was a big support for him in the media, like there is for Burnham, and there was a big support in the sort of Labour people that follow the media and think the media are good, and that's all fallen apart. And I wonder if that would happen for Burnham as well, because there's generally just a kind of hatred for the entire political system and they want to see dramatic things happen. And I think things are moving so quickly. Actually, I think there's a worry that reform will sort of there'll be old news by the time of the election.
That would be very unfortunate, sir.
Well, it would be terrible, because it would mean that it would be a Tommy Robinson style party that would actually be in power. But that's the kind of train we're on, I think. Like,
you're not going to end up with Tommy Robinson in the Prime Minister of Britain.
Why not? You're the sort of person who's like, we're not going to end up with Boris Johnson as Prime Minister. We're not going to end up with Nigel Farage as Prime Minister. We're not going to end up with him.
Well, plenty of people did it with Donald Trump as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
George Clooney, very famously. It's just not going to be a President Trump.
Well, now, because you've said it, I'm going to have to try and get Tommy Robinson to be Prime Minister just to see the egg on your face.
But there's just, obviously, it's just not, that's not going to happen. It would be too extreme a thing. No, there's tens of millions of people in the country who are just like, no fucking way. That's just a silly, silly idea.
They might split the vote, mightn't they? Small parties like Galloway's party will take votes off Labour and allow Tommy Robinson to become Prime Minister. And it'll be all your fault.
Yeah.
No? What, you got anything to say to that?
George Galloway was very, very, very adamantly and very loudly, even for him, opposed to Tommy Robinson and his gang of
yes, but being loudly opposed is not the same thing as, it doesn't matter if you're then directly in competition with parties that are trying to keep Tommy Robinson out. This is the thing. This is what Labour want, right? They don't want you to vote Green because that's going to let reform in. Although Labour are possibly, in some part, they're neck and neck with the Greens, and it's increasingly likely that the Greens will overtake Labour. And so, go on.
I was just thinking about Galloway.
Thinking about pies.
So I should have been thinking about pies. That would have been a good daydream. I was thinking about George Galloway. It's a really funny introduction he did to his show when he said, "But everyone is asking whether Donald Trump filleted Bill Clinton. But it turns out that Bubba is not Bill Clinton after all. It's Ghislaine Maxwell's horse."
I don't know that.
Yeah, apparently
sounds fascinating.
Bubba from the emails is meant to be the nickname for Ghislaine Maxwell's horse, who supposedly Donald Trump sucked off.
That would make more sense.
Really, I think it was just them joking around on email. But
how do you know he didn't really? How do you know, Matt?
Well, because I think they were saying, I bet President Putin's got photographs of Donald Trump's filleting Bubba. Which presumably, I mean, even if you believe in the P tape, which was made up, I think, by the British intelligence about Donald Trump, you wouldn't have thought that Donald Trump would have fucking taken a horse all the way to Russia just to fillet it and wee on it.
I don't know. I think Trump is
that likely.
I think if you double dared him, he'd do pretty much anything. So they had, because he was talking with the Saudi guy leader who chopped up that
journalist. I was going to check the horse into customs. Nothing to declare. Well, quite a lot to declare, actually.
He flies.
I got quite a lot to declare. I'm going to be urinating.
So that's your like problem with the story, is that there'll be some sort of customs issue. So there's no way he could fillet a horse.
Definitely would be a customs issue.
Just think about the customs. No, he was with the Saudi.
This is Ghislaine Maxwell's horse.
He makes a little YouTube video. Hi, everyone. We could make an AI version of that. That would be good.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
That's what Starmer's missing. He should get on the AI wagon. He keeps making his boring videos of him walking around saying he's doing stuff.
Well, he walked off. Remember, he walked down from the stage at the point he was saying Britain is going up. That was
unbelievable.
Art.
No wonder he's so unpopular. So they
it should have then cut to him AIing his way into a stable and
I think you can get Trump. We've got 2 minutes. We've got 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left this off.
Finish your point.
I don't have one. But we are sort of talking about Epstein now, which is good because that's the main thing that's happening Is they're going to release the files. Release the files, man. It's going to be exciting. But it sounds like the files are not very much. It's just...
Well, as Alexis, what's his name, said on that video that you shared with me. The Duran. Sorry, Alexis, I can never pronounce your surname. But brilliant international relations analyst. But making the point, if there was anything that bad about Donald Trump in it, the FBI would have arrested him by now. So...
Trump would never have campaigned on it, right?
And would never have campaigned on it. Yeah, exactly.
So I think the theory was, and it still sort of stands, is that something happened when he got into power. Partly maybe he just never took it seriously and thought he could get away with completely U-turning on that thing, right? On releasing it. He's like, I'll just say anything. I'll throw some shit out to win this election. Which is it's a perfectly normal thing to do. It's what Keir Starmer does. It's what every good politician does. And so
it's what a lot of people said he did first time round in 2015. I'm going to lose this election. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Maybe he thought he wasn't going to win. No, but anyway, he then... but I think the main thing that seems likely, or possible at least, as an explanation. I mean, that's the thing. Nothing seems likely. When it comes to Epstein, it's all very unlikely. The best you've got to go on is whether it can even rationally make sense at all. And you're like, well, if it rationally makes sense at all, then there's a pretty good argument because we've got nothing else to explain what the fuck is going on with this guy.
And what about this argument that Alexis was making about Epstein being all about foreign policy?
Yes, what about it?
Do you think that's true? Do you think that's correct? Slick.
And we're back. Are we? Aren't we?
Yeah, sure. So that was there. I just wondered how seriously you took that argument that Epstein was all about foreign policy issues. And I didn't quite understand what foreign policy issues he was referring to. Does he just mean Israel or what?
Well, he wasn't about domestic issues, was he? I mean, if he was working for Mossad and possibly the CIA, then he was all about foreign policy, wasn't he?
But what was he actually trying to do?
Well, they mentioned in the Duran that he was talking to somebody... I can't remember who it was, like a Russian, one of the Putin's people, about before a meeting with Trump, and he was briefing him or something on how to deal with Trump or something like that.
That doesn't sound very important.
Doesn't sound very important.
Not if we're talking about like a whole way of like controlling the foreign policy of.
No, but the point isn't that he was controlling everything, Matt. It's that he's nobody.
Yeah.
Right? He's not an elected official. He doesn't have a job at the CIA. He doesn't work for the Department of whatever they have in America, state or foreign thingies, whatever. He's just, what is this guy and why? He's meeting world leaders. He's advising them on stuff. He's meeting people before international meetings between the president of the United States and Russia. Two countries most likely to destroy the world. It's like, what is his involvement? Nobody can say. I was thinking, I don't know what exactly he was doing, but he's clearly involved in some level in the way.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I understand that. I'm just sort of, to what extent is he actually impacting policy? That's what Alexis seemed to be saying. Is he's a key player in foreign policy. And I didn't quite get. Well, okay, he's around, and that's weird, and he's obviously some strings are being pulled somewhere. But is that any different to minister without portfolio or something like that?
Well, I suppose the thing is
he changing anything? I mean, the whole American government was already doing all those things.
But why? Yeah, well, yes, and he's part of that. So why is he? And the thing is that this is just not reported on, right?
Yeah.
And now it is to some degree, in a weird way. Well, it's not 10 years later. It's the first time ever. Because I don't think he's a unique... I mean, increasingly, I do think he's actually quite unique. I can't imagine there are that many people like him. There are obviously people like him in the world. Work from different countries and with different backgrounds and stuff. Some of them are well known if you are in the conspiracy community. Very nice a community that's hard to get into. Very untrusting community, the conspiracy community. But yeah, there are like famous figures who basically go under the radar but have played important parts in Iran-Contra and stuff, including Epstein. What's incredible about Epstein is that it's now mainstream news. And it's this very weird thing where, on the one hand, they're sort of reporting on what's coming out about who he's met and stuff, but unlike, say, the Duran or anybody who looks into this, even if for a second, there's no real inquisitiveness about what the fuck is this guy, right? Just like, well, now, he met Tony Blair. It's like, yeah, that's fucking weird, isn't it? Well, I don't know if it's weird or not. It just happened. That's all we can say. It's like, what is this guy? And yeah, I don't think they'll release the files, and the files will be full of insanely weird meetings, and it'll just be reported, and we'll just be like, this is fucking weird. And
I think, as most people know, like, he seemed to get money from absolutely nowhere after being like a teacher or something.
I think he's money laundering or something for the deep state. I mean, this is the whole thing with the deep state and drug running and the City of London and offshore accounts and all of these things kind of work. It's not that they're in cahoots, but they rely on each other in certain ways, right? People are got their hands dirty in various ways, and so it's very difficult. I mean, interestingly, my the guy that I'm really into at the moment, Professor Yang of predictive history. So he's got this is. I don't want to say this is like the only thing that you take away from his stuff, because his stuff's better than this. But I'm going to say something that's really wacky that he said, and it's better than this as well. Also, absolutely. But what I like about him is he's everything that he does. It's just very open. Whereas so much stuff that you read or like listen to now, it's so, even on the left, it's just very closed. It's like, this is what's happening. It's like, how? Firstly, it doesn't make much sense. And nothing seems to make any sense increasingly. And people are just like, the truth about blah blah, or like what you really. It's like it's interesting to know that stuff, but that's not everything, is it? And Professor Yang is like, everything he does is very open. Just sort of thinking, why didn't we think about, I don't know if this is true, but this is one way of thinking about it, and it kind of frees you up. But anyway, he was talking about Venezuela and the attacks on drug running in Venezuela. And he thinks there's a possibility that they might actually be drug shipments. So there's this thing at the moment where it's being reported that Trump is hitting innocent civilians and stuff. And it might be, at very least, it might be a mixture of both. But the problem for the US with attacking any of the sort of drug cartels in Mexico and South America is that they're very tied up with the CIA. There's a lot of money involved passing through. It's not that the head of the CIA is the head of the cartel, but factions within the CIA are getting money from, there's a anything that's illegal, right? Really, is just a great way for the deep state to make money and to move money around. And so one of Zhang's theories about Trump in general is that he is like weirdly trying to destroy the USA. He's actually anti-USA in a way, like not anti the people of the US or like some kind of like deeper level, like this country being a great country, but really everything the US is right now, he's trying to destroy. Like the basically the way that the US controls the world, the big military, the military industrial complex, basically, and the way that's tied into stuff. And he's doing that by, he's gone. Well, didn't know it was that boring. I guess Professor Yang. I guess that's the last time we'll speak about Professor Yang. See if we can get Matt back. Matt? Let's text him. Oh, he's texting. Battery died. 1 minute. Okay. What should we do? Should we do some comments? I suppose. I was going to do an article actually with Matt. But Matt, we did mention this, but he's on a hard exit today. So he probably can't stay for very long once we get back anyway. And he'll probably want to do the comments. But I can't do an article on my own, can I? I'll just do the comments. I think that's probably the best way to do it. Share. All right, guys, let's go over to the comments and see what's going on. Dr. Rapperband says, I think we found some info on when single cells formed, and the washing machine seems to be a loose belt. You're probably overfilling it. That's almost certainly the case. I don't see how we could find info on single cells, but you might be right. But this washing machine thing, this really captured the comments. Isn't the Green Party platform boo to austerity and Reform's UK's platform no welfare spending for non-pensioners? They don't strike me as that similar. Oh, that's quite an interesting point. We Jock Poopen McPlop says, I'll save that one. Maybe we'll come back to that when Matt comes back, if he ever does. Oh, shit, I didn't reply to his text. Maybe we should do that. Okay. He says he'll be back in a minute. His battery's died. What else have we got? Matt, the drain motor is clogged. Just clean it out. See, this is my point, right? And, you know, no offense to Grand Dude 77, obviously, never. But, you know, everybody's like, this is clearly the problem, right? But then everyone's got different. So Dr. Rapperband's like, see, at least he said it seems to be a loose belt. Okay, so he's modest there. Grand Dude is super confident. The drain motor is clogged, right? Just matter of fact. Grand Dude also says the picture of Donald Trump. Sorry, I'm just checking if Matt's back. The picture of Donald Trump in your kitchen with lots of women in bikinis. Can you, what? The picture of Donald Trump in your kitchen with lots of women in bikinis. I don't know what that is. Can you, Matt's back. Thank Christ for that.
Yeah. So your professor.
Excuse me, Matt. I'm in the middle of a podcast here. We're now on to comments. Can you see the shared screen?
Oh, cool. Yeah, I can.
I've been keeping. I've done some already. I've been keeping this going while you've been fucking around.
Great. Okay. What's happening?
There's all this stuff about the washing machine. Dr. Rapperband says it seems the washing machine has a loose belt. Grand Dude's like, the drain motor is clogged. Just clean it out. I think someone else said something. But anyway, that's probably not going to interest you. This is an interesting comment by We Jock Poopen McPlop. Isn't the Green Party platform boo to austerity and Reform's UK platform no welfare spending for non-pensioners? They don't strike me as that similar, Matt. What do you have to say to that?
Well, I don't think they are similar, but weren't you making the case that they were similar?
Yeah, I was, but I was trying to offload it onto you. It didn't work. God damn it.
I mean, I think they're very, very different. I would like to be able to somehow bridge that gap, which is why I sometimes go along to these meetings. Like I'm going to Carl Benjamin later on, because I'm interested in people, particularly where there are political figures.
Carl Benjamin and his merry men. His merry men. Jimin. His merry men. Jimin. Carl Benjamin and his merry men. Jimin.
But
Carl Benjamin.
I wonder if there
and his
are
merry men. Jimin.
I wonder if there are overlaps between, particularly on foreign policy issues, where there might be more of an isolationist view from the reformy types, and that might there might also be a bit of an isolationism type vibe from your greenies and your. No,
they love Ukraine, and anyway, that's not the point. We're talking about the economy, Matt. So nobody gives a shit about your obsessions.
It is kind of chalk and cheese, really.
It isn't. I mean, it isn't chalk and cheese.
Yeah, but we were just saying that it is.
No, this comment was saying it is, and you're saying it is. I never said it was. I mean, this comment is a response to me, who says that it isn't.
So you think that the Green Party and Reform, you think that there are really significant overlaps between?
Yes.
Okay, and in what way is that?
In terms of what they're likely to do economically, in terms of the NHS, for one thing. I mean, I think the only way the Reform are going to fund it more. Yeah, I think they're going to have to do. I think Reform are going to spend money. I think. Shit! I pressed the wrong button. We're back.
You're going to have to edit something, Daniel.
No, I'm not. Well, I'll have to edit these two bits together. That's true.
Yeah.
Why can't I stop share? Yeah, in terms of the NHS, right? So there's lots of immigrants working for the NHS, and the jobs are. Oh fuck! I'm getting a phone call now. Hello. Hello. It's a bit of a nightmare, this pod, isn't it? How much time have you got left? 5 minutes.
Yeah. I said
Okay.
I'd leave at 15:15.
I'm not entirely sure what I'm talking about. Clearly, or most things, particularly about reform. But I don't buy that. They're going to stay very. They're either going to stay very similar to what's happening now, in terms of the economic policies of Rachel Reeves, or they're going to find some way to spend a lot of money.
Right.
And I will come back to you with some reason, because the internet's so great. Even though I don't know if there's any evidence, I will find some evidence. There's evidence out there for anything, and I will find the evidence for that and push that next week. Anyway, I wanted to say this has been a complete mess of a podcast. I wanted to say about Israel and Epstein, right? Mm-hmm. So the idea, right, was that somebody close to Trump, someone important to Trump, a funder of Trump, was implicated in the Epstein files, and this was probably the reason why he suddenly decided he didn't want to release them. Right? That was an idea going around. It's plausible. This is what I'm talking about. Where is it likely? I don't know. It's plausible, and that's all we have at this point. Is something, why else would he fucking flip flop on this idea? And he was so strongly against them, and now he's for them coming out. Now, one of the main reason is obviously that he's trying to get ahead of the news, like they're going to come out anyway. But I suppose that just counters my point. But I don't know. Like, an idea would be that it's something to do with Israel, possibly to do with what's-her-face who funds Trump, Adelson, because recently, what's it, Miriam Adelson?
Yeah.
Because recently he kind of shamed her a little bit in a speech.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
And increasingly, you see on the right in the US, not in the UK, sadly, that there's been a sort of turn against Israel in parts of the right. So you wonder if partly the reason, and like the other thing is, why do the Democrats want it to come out so much now? And nobody wanted it to come out before. Now everybody wants it to come out. And it's like, well, maybe the people that are implicated in it have started to lose power, or at the very least, you could say they've come to a point where, like, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to throw you under the bus. I mean, this is very much the Wire. This is how it works on that. Like, people do each other favors, and everybody keeps quiet. But then something gets to a sort of a breaking point where it's like we no longer can handle this anymore. We've got to feed something to the lion. You're going to go down for this. And even though they're incredibly powerful people like Miriam Adelson or whatever, they're not the be all and end all. The be all and end all is the network in its entirety, and that's got to be maintained. And Israel, or some factions within Israel, within Mossad, or within the Israeli government, or within the Israeli lobby to the US, maybe have it's been sort of agreed, the people who have been trying to desperately defend them for the last few years, like, look, we can't defend you guys anymore. We're going to release the Epstein things. You're going to be fucked, and that's just how it is. Is that kind of thing? It's plausible, right? I'm not saying it's like
that's a good theory, bureaucratic state theory.
Right, that's it. You've always got the right term for whatever it is. Should we quickly do these comments? I feel like this episode it's just whizzed by, hasn't it, Matt?
It's whizzed by, and it's whizzed up and down and around about, and
like a washing machine
down the farmyard lane and to the washing machine.
Yes, exactly. That's right.
But what?
Well, oh yeah, I didn't understand what Grand Dude meant. The picture of Donald Trump in your kitchen with lots of women in bikinis. What's that?
Oh, that's Epstein said. Maybe Grand Dude might have been a bit pissed by this point, but Epstein said, to the reporter Michael Wolff, would you like a picture of Donald Trump in my kitchen with women in bikinis?
Said to who? Michael Wolff?
Yes.
Okay.
And then Grand Dude is making a separate point about my washing machine. Grand Dude, you need to sort out your paragraphs.
Can you see your washing machine? Can you see it, Matt?
No, not from here.
If I could see what model it is, it might help.
Move on, Grand Dude.
Just call Zach Polanski Mr. Green. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like when Trump referred to Japanese premier as Mr. Japan. Tim Apple. What? Who's Tim Apple? Is that the
guy who runs Apple?
He's not called Tim, is he? Is he the new? I don't know.
I didn't think he was either.
I've been getting into my pies. Yeah, we could see that, mate. That's really not called for. I feel bad now, but you see,
you immediately feel bad.
But you set up. Yeah, you can't write it
after he's before he's actually sent it off.
Yeah, exactly. You could edit it, you know. For Boosie Balance, where is the little man sitting? It looks like a storage space. Is that a bed frame in the background? It is a bed frame. I said before, it's a bed frame the wrong way around.
Does he sleep on a mattress on the floor? That would match my expectations. Mine as well.
Yeah, well, I sleep on. I mean, it's not on the floor, but it's on like a pallet. It's on like 2 pallets.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I'd imagine. And actually, well, yeah.
And actually, what?
I was going to say, I bet you'll be sleeping on a pallet or some spare room or something this weekend.
No, actually, I'll be sleeping in a really nice bed this weekend.
Oh, really?
So there. Don't use quick wash on your washing machine. That's just a blanket. We've got less than a minute.
I don't know about anything. That's a convincing piece of advice.
How many we've got left? We've got less than a minute. This podcast is becoming a great therapy session. Yeah, I said that. That's literally why I feel. Yeah, I know.
Remember the Strokes. Good times. Arcade Fire is still good.
The last Arcade Fire album is really good. Check it out, guys. Had narrowed down Matt's washing machine woes to a kink of blockage. Oh, fuck, so. Then he dropped the bombshell only affects one program. I think that was that way he didn't.
This is seconds. Let me just point out that I haven't used the washing machine for a week. So
anyway, this was established. The first thing he said that it was only one setting. Like he's rewritten the past for dramatic effect.
He has rewritten history.